So I'm going to start off. I have a little speech prepared, and I wrote it down because I realized I was coming in front of Bill, and I thought that was really unfair. He does that all the time. So there's a couple of things I wanted to start with. This one is actually from my sister Ingrid, and Ingrid lives on Vancouver Island, and I'd sent her an email, and so she asked if I would read this. Happy birthday, Uncle Jim. I want to wish you a very happy birthday and say a few words. First of all, I love that I've never had to call you Uncle Jim. It was always just Jim. And I think that was because you always seemed like a friend to me more than an uncle. You were always open-minded and available for me to be myself with. As you and Sue both know, it was not the case with everyone being the challenging and odd girl that I was. I won't mention that she's pole dancing now.
She's pole?
Call me wonderful.
Legitimate exercise.
Exercise. Jim, you've always been full of adventure and life and very interesting to me. I know we haven't spent a lot of time together over the years due to the distance, but I've always loved and respected you more than you may know. I hope you have the most incredible day, and I have to say, when Linda emailed me to tell you were turning 70, my exact words were, holy. I know you probably don't feel 70. I'm sure you don't look it. You're always such a handsome devil. I know I love you.
Love that. Can you read that again?
Devil.
And she says, P.S. Griffin sends his love and birthday wishes.
Nice. Great.
So I brought a bunch of props with me. There's a nice picture of Jim in the living room when he turned 3, and it says Jimmy, and it's an interesting spelling. If you look at it, it's J-I-M-M-I-E.
Yeah, and when I send Charlie an email, he uses EY, he always gets IE. Now I know where it comes from.
And I'm also wearing this pendant, which was my mother's. And the interesting thing is that inside of it, there's 2 pictures, and it's my dad and Jim.
Wow.
Not her children. So, before I start my speech, I'd like to take a look at Jim's birth certificate for 2 reasons. 1, Jim has always been my cool, young uncle. And 2, if he's turning 70, how old does that make me?
60.
Yes, I didn't know. To get some ideas for what I should say, I Googled birthday speeches, and the best piece of advice that came away was this: be sincere, be brief, and be seated. Thank you, Sue, for asking me to say a few words tonight and to get a chance to represent my mom, Marion. Mom always told us that Jim was supposed to be her birthday present when she was 6 years old. I think the only time I ever heard her complain about Jim was that he didn't arrive on the right date. I know that Jim was always the apple of my mom's eye, and she love for him was very infectious. Though Mom thought Jim could do no wrong, I can remember a few times when Dad and Sue discussed the Lewis look. It was always a strong deterrent to one more scotch or another story. Jim lived on and off in our basement on Ashland Street when he was young, when he went to Simon Fraser University. I remember him speeding up in his sports car wearing a black turtleneck, and soon he had a beautiful young girlfriend named Sue. This made a real big impression on Ingrid and I. Years later, when I was trying to decide on my university education and career, Sue and Jim were instrumental in leading me into interior design.
Really?
We developed a closer relationship. We developed a closer relationship when I designed Jim's office, as well as taking a few shots at renovating this house, and I counted, I think it's been 3 times. Because we did the bathroom, we
If you don't like the place, talk to Linda.
And this beautiful home we're in tonight. Jim's artistic talents and eye for detail made me rise to higher heights, and his office was even recognized for a Canadian Design Award. The only problem has been that he keeps it looking so great, I haven't been asked back to renovate it, and it's now 25 years.
And Linda, people
Scary.
still come to our office and rave about it. So.
There are many stories that come to mind when I think of Jim, or should I say his alias, Sam Bass. One of my favorite ones was when Jim was at a party and he was telling a joke that he'd heard from my dad. He forgot the punchline, and he had to call my dad to get it. I don't think my dad ever let him forget it. He told him many times.
I always got at least one call, and I
Jim has always been more than an uncle. Whenever I see him, he grabs me for a kiss. He's out for sailing with Natasha and sharing a birthday party with Vanessa just last year and her girlfriends. Uncle Jim represents the very best of my side of the family to both Hannah and Marina. Hannah always says, oh, it's the normal side of the family. Finally, I'd like to mention Jim's devotion to those he loves. Sue and all her family, my mom and dad, Keith and I, and our girls. And of course, all the wonderful friends that are here to appreciate him and take part of his birthday. So I want to say, I love you, Uncle Jim, and happy 70th.
Oh,
Beautiful.
13 in this one, it's really cute.
wow.